evening, my loyal subjects. This is, of course, your favorite Shogun here, Sugi, and today I'm actually dropping out the first video of the year. So I've been a bit absent, I've been sick, I've been healing, going to doctors, doing all types of errands, and I've been watching a bit of anime, but I haven't been able to finish out anything until today, which is the anime in question, Record of Ragnarok 2, Shuumatsu no Walküre in Japanese. Now, the first season, which I also reviewed on the channel, gonna link that in the corner in case you want to get a synopsis what exactly is this anime about. Now, it got shitted on quite a lot by multitude of different people, and I think pretty much all the criticism really had to do with the CGI. Like, this is like the status of the anime community is that if it has CGI, we're gonna automatically drop the grade of the anime by like 5 numbers from 10 to 5 or something crazy. Like, that seems to be the only thing that matters about the anime. It's the fucking animation. Like, the people are super obsessed with the animation. It's so superficial take on the whole medium, which has a lot of like rich context of history understanding, the nuance of like, cultures and the audio design and the sounds and everything and the storytelling and the characters and all that. That doesn't matter. It's all about the fucking animation and pretty colors. But enough about that rant. So I just wanted to know that most of the criticism really was about the CGI. There was nothing really fundamentally that wrong about the story or the characters or anything else about the first season. Yeah, it had some animation hiccups, and seemingly the animation quality is a lot better in season 2. Now, this is released in 2 different parts, so right now we only got 8 episodes, so we only got to cover 2 different fights, which is between Shiva and Japanese sumo wrestler Raiden, and then we had Hercules fighting Jack the Ripper, which was already like, that was on the ending of the first season. And then there's going to be 2 other fights, which I'm not going to be spoiled because I think there's at least one of the fights is going to have a lot of like connotation to it, which I don't want to really tell you because it is rooted into the story of the second season, which is a bit expanded upon, but the same format still exists. Now, what I always liked about this anime so far is that it's not like completely clear who's going to be winning the fight, and the author and the directors of the anime make seemingly bait you into thinking, oh, this guy has the edge now and he has this super technique right now and he's going to be winning this and that, like that and that. So it's not like completely clear who can win because there's not like exactly a main character in the show. Brunhilde is technically a main character, but she doesn't participate on the fights, which is a very unique take on this tournament format that we have seen multiple times in anime. But one of the 2 things that happens on these tournament arcs in other animes, 1, they don't show all the matches, and 2, you always kind of know how the tournament is going to be ending. Most of the time, the hero or the main protagonist is going to be on the finale. In a couple of very exceptions, like the Shaman King, that doesn't happen, and maybe there's some other things that I can't remember. Yeah, Ash Ketchum with Pokemon. But for the most part, the tournament arcs tend to be kind of predictable. But the cool thing about in a lot of other these Kengan Ashura and some other martial, like Baki, which are both on Netflix, by the way, seems to be this whole fighting anime is like the Netflix's thing, and they are trying to really go for it, is that those 2 anime like show a lot of these fights between a lot of side characters, and you don't really know how those fights are exactly going to end, and that what makes it really exciting for me to watch anime in general, or any type of story where I don't exactly know who's gonna win. It's just like betting on a real UFC match or something like that. I don't know the outcome, and that's kind of one of the appeals about watching a fight. You don't know who's gonna win. I mean, you can make some broad lines, like if the gods would have won the first 10 games, it would have like made some sense. Now let's talk about some other aspects about this thing. So the opening song is by Minami, who also did the Yurusei Yatsura openings, which were really banger. I haven't been watching the anime, but I really like that opening and Edie. They were really fire, and this also Rude Loose Dance is also really good. There are some other weird musical things. I think I heard AC/DC played, or a plagiarism of one of their songs. And then there's My Fair Lady. Okay, that was really annoying. There was some annoying stuff about the first fight. So this is like these 8 episodes only covered the 2 fights, as I said. The first is Hercules versus Jack the Ripper, and I think, way I remember, there's a lot more backstory build up in these episodes than there were in the first season. That's how I remember. Obviously, like, my memory is what it is, but yeah, I think there was a lot more backstory. I personally don't care much about Hercules' backstory, and the way it was done in this anime is definitely very different from the Disney one. Maybe this is more closer to the mythology than the Disney one. I'm not sure. But that's my frame of reference of Hercules and the live action series, obviously. And so I knew this story already, but a lot of people may not, so that's fine. The Jack the Ripper is like, we don't know the identity of that person. It's just like the writer made his own backstory, and I think he was humanized a bit more in this adaptation of him, which I guess is good, because that's what the story is about. It's about the conflict between the gods and the humans have to, like, kind of justify their existence here, and that's what the battle is about. And even a fucked up guy like Jack the Ripper, tends to be, well, yeah, I don't know, like, he could have been a Christian fundamentalist and things like that, and, there's, like, a lot of things you could have, like, spun out of his background story, like why he was killing prostitutes. That's not really explored that much into the story outside from his relationship with his mother, and I just didn't really find this interesting at all. It was quite boring, actually. So didn't really enjoy it, but the fights were good. The first fight probably better than the second one, and there's also some things happening in the God's Land. There was a bit of, like, show off and a bit of a prequel to one of the fighters who's going to be fighting. So there's going to be 13 fighters, and the author, now this is something I probably talked about, I kind of remember talking about this on the first season review, is that out of the 13 fighters, 4 are Japanese. Now that's a huge bias, okay? Huge bias. And understand, writer's Japanese, loves Japanese culture, that's fine, but there's so many interesting historical characters that he could have brought up instead of the people that he had chosen. Now, there's also a Finnish dude, Simo Häyhä, who is a Finnish sniper from World War II. That's going to be, it means the Finn. It's going to be very interesting doing analysis on that fight when that comes out in the later seasons. I'm very excited to talk about that. But what I was saying is that even from the 4 people that he chose on the Japanese roster, which I'm not going to reveal all of them, I guess I'm going to reveal who's not there, but, like, Oda Nobunaga or anyone from the Sengoku period would have been kind of interesting, to be honest, to include on the list. I think that would have, maybe that would have been too generic or too plain of a choice, but I mean, that's what you kind of probably wanted to see, like, your greatest fighters of all fucking time, Data Masamune or somebody else. There are a lot of, like, candidates you could have chosen to fight for humanity, and there could have been fucking people like Genghis Khan or Hannibal, or, like, I think there was a bit of a, like, an Asian bias here on the roster. I think there was so many good ideas that he could have gone through, like, and in these, like, Alexander the Great. Like, a lot of these characters are very interesting altogether. And yeah, Lubu was a good choice. I grant that. Jack the Ripper was kind of interesting too. But some of these Japanese choices, the 4 people that he has chosen, are not very important. A lot of people who are watching this, people who have watched anime, I bet most people don't know who these 4 people that is chosen are. Who the fuck these people are. Like, historical characters don't know who the fuck these are. So they're kind of unknown in that sense. But I don't know what the writers' reason was. Maybe there will be a sequel story to this at some point, and they will be introducing these. So I don't really much have else to add. I don't remember the scale of CGI in the first season versus season 2, because that's not something I pay attention to much. If the animation doesn't look totally off or emotionless, I don't really have much issues with that. It's usually the artistic style that matters to me, and what is, like, portrayed through the story and all these things. These are the things that matter to me, and the atmosphere, and believability and things like that. And I thought season 2 was good looking. Probably was a lot better looking than season 1 based on my recollections. But even if it was like a lot of CGI, it wouldn't have taken anything out from the story, which is obviously broadened it out. I'm interested to kind of see how this actually ends. Is there gonna be like some type of fucking mayhem in the actual God's Land happening, fights outside of the arena? Like, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the manga. A lot of people are, and maybe they can tell me that without spoiling too much. But it's actually a pretty good story, a pretty good setup, and I just want to like finally just repeat what I said earlier, is that the beauty of the story is that Brunhilde is not like super directly there as a main character in these fights. You're kind of looking this tournament from a very outside perspective, from like being part of the audience. And that's what the great thing about the story is, that when you tell a story in that type of format, there are no heroes, there are no villains or bad guys, so to speak. You just have like these amazing like dream matchups basically, and because of that, well, they're not dream matchups, but you have these cool matchups, and because of that, you know, we have the ability to see like whatever these are actually like. We have the ability to enjoy them as a real sport event, because the writing is not on the wall depending on what is the outcome of the fights. Like, I don't think most people can like predict the fights like from the starting point what's gonna happen. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna be dropping out a lot of other reviews in the near future, old and new from the season. There's a lot of things I need to watch and need to get back to watching again, and I think I will have more time now that I have, you know, dealt with a lot of my errands. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and obviously leave a comment what you thought about this season. Was it better than the first one? Yada yada yada, and we could discuss about it.